What is up, YouTubers? Welcome to another edition of Dalyxman's Q&A Corner. Every Wednesday, I answer your questions in under 15 minutes. And yes, we're finally back on Wednesdays. If you have a question for me, please leave your questions on my Facebook page, not the Ask FM. I think I'm going to slowly go away from Ask FM. Too many people leave like 100 questions and I never get a chance to answer other people's questions. I feel like I'm answering the same 2-3 people's questions. So this time, I think Facebook is a better method of getting to other people's stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. Right off the bat, let's talk about the big news that came out this week. Dalyxman, how do you feel about Samoa Joe leaving TNA, and where do you think he will possibly end up at? Well, it's about damn time. I feel like, and I felt like this for a while, but TNA, since 2006, 2007-ish, they have completely misused, mistreated, dropped the ball with Samoa Joe. And I say this from experience because the two matches that got me into TNA both involved Samoa Joe. Those matches are the triple threat involving Daniels, AJ, and Joe, and Joe versus AJ Styles. Those two matches were the first two matches I saw from TNA, and instantly, bam, I was hooked. I thought Samoa Joe was a beast. I still think he's a beast. But back then, I thought he was clearly one of TNA's prized possessions. And one of those talents that I felt like carried the company into what it would become during that time. That was one of TNA's best years, if not the best year, when Samoa Joe was on top. That feud with Kurt Angle, the hottest feud TNA has ever had. And Samoa Joe was the champion. And I feel like he never got back there because something happened. Oh, I know what happened. They got greedy. Some WWE people got free and WCW people got free and they picked them up. They tried to be WWE light and TNA just completely said screw all the new people. Screw the Christopher Daniels, screw the Kazarians, screw the AJ Styles, screw the Eric Youngs, screw the Samoa Joes. And he just got lost in the shuffle. And now Samoa Joe has lost so many matches, has been in so many crappy storylines, has become so irrelevant now that I think at this point he can't be rebuilt. So he left at the, well, I was going to say the right time. Honestly, he should have left many years ago. When AJ Styles, Daniels, and Kazarian left, that's when he should have left. But a year later, better late than never, I suppose. But yeah, one of TNA's many failures has to be Samoa Joe. And the funny thing is, the sad thing is, wherever else he goes, I guarantee you, he will be a top name. If he goes back to ROH, they will pick him up, they will make him a top name, and they will book him strong. And dear God, ROH needs someone like a Samoa Joe right now. That company has no sense of direction, no sense of momentum, nothing. Not right now, at least, in my personal opinion. He can go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He'll be awesome there. And that company is still riding off of the momentum of Wrestle Kingdom 9. So, he'll go there and be awesome. Or, he can do what I want him to do, which is come to the WWE. And if he comes, he will most likely go to NXT. And I know, yeah, he's not a rookie. I got that. But you guys know how it works in WWE. If you're new, you're a rookie. You could have been freaking Hogan. If you just now touched WWE, you're a rookie. Unless you're Sting, unless you're Goldberg, but Samoa Joe is not those guys. So in WWE's eyes, he would be a rookie. He would go to NXT, and you know what? I want him to go to NXT. I would rather him start from the indies of WWE and work his way up. Like an Adrian Neville, like a Kevin Owens, like a Sami Zayn, like others on the roster. And speaking of those three, Who here would not want to see those matches? Who here would not want to see Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn? Samoa Joe versus Adrian Neville? Samoa Joe versus Kevin Owens? Samoa Joe versus Baron Corbin? I would love to see those matches. And knowing Triple H, and I've read reports that he is interested, but I guarantee you, Triple H would love a Samoa Joe on NXT. Would a Vince McMahon or a Kevin Dunn want him? I don't know. That's hard to say, but if he does come to NXT, I promise you he will be awesome. And Jesus, NXT would just be even more awesome if they managed to get Samoa Joe. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin has come out and said the WWE should pick him up. Even Jim Ross has said it. I think Austin said last year that Samoa Joe should come and get a monster push. Yeah, he did. So, yeah, man, whatever way he decides to go, Samoa Joe's gonna be awesome. And here's hoping he does come to NXT, because I think he would be awesome in WWE. Let's see what happens. I'm reading reports that Triple H wants him, and I hope he picks him up. If he does pick him up, it needs to be soon. I mean, Samoa Joe is like 35 years old right now, so he still has like 5-7 years left in him. He's practically a veteran at this point. To me, veteran age is like 30 to about 42, 45. And then like post-veteran age or retirement age should be around like 46 to about 55-ish. If you're like mid-50s, 60s, you should not be wrestling, in my personal opinion. If you're like mid-30s to about mid-40s, it depends on how good you are and how healthy you are. If you can still do it, go for it. If you can't, call it a day. If you're injury prone, I wouldn't recommend you wrestle. So, Samoa Joe is still young enough to make it work, and I think he would be great for WWE. But if it's gonna happen, it needs to happen soon, as in this year soon. They need to sign him this year. Give him a year on NXT, bring him up next year, and let him work. I would love to see him make it to the main roster and fight like a Seth Rollins, a Dean Ambrose, a Roman Reigns, a Daniel Bryan, a Dolph Ziggler, oh, Jesus Christ, a Wade Barrett, many other great people, a Cesaro, a Jack Swagger. Well, Jack Swagger still has a job. I saw that he wrestled Cesaro on Main Event, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about Jack Swagger. So, Samoa Joe is definitely the hottest free agent right now in wrestling. And whoever picks him up, they are going to have a great talent on their hands. Hopefully, it's the WWE. But thank you for that question, man. Let's get to the rest of these questions. What do you think of Goldberg's run in WWE during his 2000s tenure? I liked it. I mean, it wasn't WCW 1997, 1998, but Goldberg was still over, and he, to me, was still having good matches with people like Chris Jericho, The Rock, had that awesome Elimination Chamber dominant performance, although losing to Triple H, it was still great. Had a really good feud with Triple H too. I felt like Goldberg's run in WWE, although it wasn't on par with his WCW run, it was still cool. I'm a huge Goldberg fan, by the way. I think he carries like this big, monstrous android intense presence that nobody else has. And he brings a big, dominant, intense aura that we don't get a lot in wrestling nowadays. We get it sometimes with Mark Henry, and Big Show and Brock Lesnar, but I thought Goldberg was like one of the best at it. So yeah, I enjoyed his tenure in WWE. I didn't enjoy his match against Brock Lesnar. That was like the only thing that he did that was like, ugh. I don't think anybody enjoyed it, honestly. But other than that, I thought he was cool. I mean, you can have your opinions about him. I hear some people think he sucks. I don't think he sucks. I think he's pretty awesome. How do you feel about the primetime players reuniting? They never should have broken up. Seriously, both Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, first off, are very underutilized. But on top of that, they were a good tag team. I don't get why you would break them up, especially if you had no direction for them afterwards. Why did they break up? You did nothing with Darren Young, and you did nothing with Titus O'Neil. So, what was the point? I felt like, honestly, you should have kept them together, and you could have actually gotten a tag team championship run off of them. And now that they're back together, they actually, in my personal opinion, bring more life back. Especially when you consider that Goldust and Stardust are breaking up, and they seem to be going in their own direction now. So, a good replacement tag team, and these two, if you book them like a good babyface tag team should be booked, could bring a lot of eyes to your division. I think these two could work, and I think these two will do wonders for WWE. Hashtag millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. But yeah, I'm happy they're back together. What do you think of Goldust and Stardust fighting at Fastlane instead of WrestleMania? I think it's stupid. I think that is a terrible idea. Why would you give that away before WrestleMania? You could have built to WrestleMania with that feud. But WWE, they are so impatient. I don't get it. You know, they would have never done this back in the day. But they're so desperate to get eyes on their freaking network that it has to be now. You can't build it up. You can't build anticipation and then make it so the fans are salivating for it to where they want to pay the $9.99. No, you have to give it to them prematurely. So when you do the rematch, and I guarantee you, they will do a rematch. If they don't, they're stupid. It's not going to feel as special. I don't get the decision making in WWE. It makes no sense. It doesn't, man. I hope Goldust no-shows the match, or Stardust. I think it would make more sense if Stardust no-shows. But maybe Stardust will beat up Goldust before the match, and then he wins by forfeit, or something like that. Something has to happen where we don't actually get the match, and it happens at WrestleMania. You can't just give this match away for free, and then do it again at WrestleMania, and expect the same special feel. Stupid, man. Brother versus brother, first time ever, and you don't do it at WrestleMania. I don't get it. I really don't, but what do I know? I'm just a wrestling fan. Do you think a feminist stable would work in WWE? You mean like a female right to censor? I mean, not really right to censor, but people who stand up against the way the divas are treated in WWE. Yeah, it could work, but I don't think they'll do it because it would hurt their image. Again, it's not really about creating TV, good TV with WWE. It's about the image. And stables like the whole, you know, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E bringing back the Nation stuff, and this idea, although it would be awesome, it would be cool, it would hurt their image, and they wouldn't do it because they're cowards. They're scared to let themselves look bad for the sake of creating good TV. They're not going to do that because they're cowards. That's why. So it's a great idea, but don't expect it to happen anytime soon. And let me see here. Hall or Nash, who is a better wrestler? Scott Hall is the better wrestler. But Kevin Nash, I think, would draw a lot more money because he has that superstar look, he has more charisma, and he's a better talker. But Scott Hall, better wrestler for sure. Thoughts on the Hurricane? Great character, great wrestler, one of the best booked mid-carders I've seen in a long time. Gregory Helms, Shane Helms, whatever you want to call him. One of the most underrated talents in WWE, and I hope he comes back one day. He should make a surprise return. And that's going to conclude the Q&A for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to catch you guys next week. So, this is your boy, Dalyxman, signing off. You guys take care. Peace.